Proclamation of Martial Law, unveiling the page of history. My group members are Aris Canlas and Cesar Bolosan, and my name is Ordi Maverick Cagne. So, first, I have ready a quote for the martial law from Franz Kafka. It's only our conception of time that make us call the last judgment by this name. It is, in fact, a kind of martial law. Explore a thoughtful, invoking quote by this name. The traditional view of the last judgment and suggests that our perception of time greatly influences how we understand it. Time is likely to a form of martial law and unrelenting regulator of our lives. Shifting our perspective allow us to see the last judgment as ongoing evaluation of our action by the exorable force of time. Historical context. We're tackling today the Declaration of Martial Law. Through Proclamation number 1081, this proclamation was signed on September 21, 1972. However, it is essential to acknowledge and counter controversies and discrepancies that exist regarding the actual signing date, with some resources suggesting September 17 or September 22. Reason for martial law. Why did President Marcos resort to such a drastic measure martial law? Was declared in response to political instability and the rising threat of communities, insurgency posed by the new People's Army, and perceived threats to the national security. Propaganda. These propaganda efforts were remarkably successful to the extent that even today, many people, particularly those who did not witness the event of martial law, proclaim the 70, September 23, 1972. What is martial law? Martial law is a temporary and exceptional state where civilian government and legal process are replaced by military authority. During martial law, civil liberties may be suspended. Military tribunals may replace civilian courts, curfew, and movement restriction can be imposed, and the military plays a prominent role in maintaining order. It is a typical declare in response to rise like wire, civil unrest, or natural disaster. When civilian authorities struggle to maintain stability, martial law is considered a last resort measure and is subject to legal and constitutional constraint to prevent misuse of power. So, like what I said before, the proclamation is under Marcos administry at 7:17 p.m. on September 23, 1972. President Marcos announced that he had placed the entirety of Philippines under martial law through through Presidential Proclamation number 1081, which signed September 21, 1972.
Martial law in the Philippines has had a major impact in our history. During martial law, the president or the leading person of a country can enforce laws and protocols and implement them without the due diligence of the law. Martial law is a law that allows the president to have nearly unlimited power in order to resolve a crisis such as natural disasters and civil unrest. Martial law is used to help restore order, protect lives, and ensure the security of the nation. However, with this limitless power comes the risk of abuse, suspension of civil liberties, and the threat to democracy. This instance occurred during the Marcos regime. The Philippines nearly went 14 years under martial law. However, with the events that transpired during martial law, came to being one of the most historic events that occurred in the Philippines. People Power Revolution, also known as EDSA 1.
I'm Cesar Bulosa. Historical significance. In September 1972, Marcos declared martial law, claiming that it was the last defense against the rising disorder caused by increasingly violent student demonstrations. The alleged threats of communist insurgency by the new Communist Party of the Philippines and the Muslim separatist movement of the Moro National Liberation Front. One of his first actions was to arrest opposition politicians in Congress and the Constitutional Convention. Initial public reaction to martial law was mostly favorable except in Muslim areas of the South, where a separatist rebellion led by the MNLF broke out in 1973. Despite half-hearted attempts to negotiate a ceasefire, the rebellion continued to claim thousands of military and civilian casualties. Under martial law, the regime was able to reduce violent urban crime and collect unregistered firearms and suppress communist insurgency in some areas. Contemporary veritas. Martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian war and is usually invoked in time of war, rebellion, or natural disaster. When martial law is in effect, the military commander of an area of country has unlimited authority to make and enforce law. Martial law is justified when civilian authority has ceased to function, is completely absent, or has become ineffective. Further, martial law suspends all existing laws as well as civil authority and the ordinary administration of justice. The Constitution makes no specific provision for the imposition of martial law. Nearly every state some areas. Contemporary veritas. Martial law involves the temporary substitution of military authority for civilian war and is usually invoked in time of war, rebellion, or natural disaster. When martial law is in effect, the military commander of an area of country has unlimited authority to make and enforce law. Martial law is justified when civilian authority has ceased to function, is completely absent, or has become ineffective. Further, martial law suspends all existing laws as well as civil authority and the ordinary administration of justice. The Constitution makes no specific provision for the imposition of martial law. Nearly every state has a constitutional provision authorizing the government to impose martial law. The power of martial law once held to be nearly absolute has limitations. For example, civilians may not be tried by military tribunals as long as civilian courts are functional. Military personnel cannot be used in surveillance or undercover operations, and they may not be used as informants, investigators, or interrogators, unless the investigation is a joint military-civilian operation in which the military has an interest in the case of. Thank you.
We chose this topic because we want to be able to reflect upon our history. One of the most historic events in our history came from the events that transpired during martial law. The martial law taught us that when we unite, great changes can occur. The declaration of martial law should be for the well-being of the citizens, not for the abuse of power.